in session, you've obviously got a pretty big boot, which I'm
Yeah.
sure was attractive for them picking you up. How did you find that? Like end of sets, that style of kicking, like landing it in the cage.
Yeah.
Have you enjoyed the game plan side of kicking?
Yeah, I have actually. I'm still learning around types of kicks in certain scenarios, but
Mm,
definitely in terms of the cage kick, like that's one aspect of the kicking in league that I feel like I can have a good role in within our team. Like you said, like can get a fair bit of height on the ball, so obviously that gives the D a bit of time
yeah,
to chase. So especially when you're finishing your sets kind of around the halfway, if you can get a really good kick into the cage, which so the cage is a 10 by 10 from the sideline to the try line. So if you're landing the ball in that zone, one, the wingers or the fullbacks have got to get infield, so that's taking time away from them running forward. So if you're getting a good kick away with a good chase and making that tackle around the 10 meter, then that's really setting up your defense. But not only it's gonna, if you have a good D set off the back of that, you're gonna have a really good attacking chance after it.
yeah.
So that's one element I feel like we work pretty
I
hard.
see. I see so many clubs not having that kicker who can execute that, um, or the play of the ball's poor, which leads to a poor kick undercut. Like it's incredible the compounding effect that a poor
Yeah,
kick has. Eh?
yeah. You don't realize like you can have really good attacking sets finished by a poor kick, and you kind of just let the pressure off.
Yeah,
And that's why, like, obviously Penrith have so many good things that they have, but their end of set kicking is elite, and compared to most teams, and then that allows their really strong D to just suffocate you. So yeah, in terms of the kicking, that's like one big thing I've been focusing on is that cage kicking, and it's the balls are a little bit different in rugby league. I find that they're a little bit fatter on the bottoms, so you
hmm,
actually have a little bit more room to play with in terms of strike.
yep,
And yeah, so and that's why you see sometimes like when the boys hit the floaters, they're not like union balls where they kind of just dive out of the air and they kind of just float and go nowhere. They actually like their trajectory is pretty much normal in terms of like
mm,
a just a punt kick, but yeah, it's just kind of floating a bit more, and then at that last minute it dives. So
yep,
that's why teams are using that a little bit more. It's a little bit harder. It's kind of like how the spirals coming back into union to try and take the aerial contest out of play. Um, but yeah, it's a little bit different. But one thing for me, especially playing, been training at six, is that marker pressure.
yep,
So yeah, I try to stand a little bit further out, just to give myself a bit more room, being a right footer. But yeah, that marker pressure. So you have a lot more pressure on you in terms of your kick, and you can just sense it. Obviously, they can't really make a play. Like in union, you can get flogged after you kick it, and it's play on. Whereas you kind of a protected species when you're kicking in
yeah,
league. So yeah, that kind of one step kick to be able to have that accurate hang time, all that's pretty important.
yeah. Are you playing around with the floater kicks at the moment, and what goes into your decision to end over end cage accuracy, or I'm going to float it and make this a real tough catch?
I'd say a lot of it comes down to the momentum and the situation in the game. So if you're kind of on the back foot, you want to complete those sets followed up by a good kick. Whereas I'd say when you're around that halfway mark and you kind of feel like you've got the momentum, you might be ahead on the scoreboard, or one, you might need a big play
Mm,
to kind of swing that, potentially then go into the floater or the spiral. Because you'll see a lot now when the boys are going to those spirals, the ball's bouncing once. So it's just giving you one more time and maybe a chance to try and get the ball back. But yeah, I'd say the decision when to hit those is very much based on the momentum of the game and how it's going. Like for me, I know same as Union, like you just want to put together a few good phases sometimes when you're on the back foot, finished
yep,
off by a good positional kick or just getting the boys moving forward. I think that's important.
yep.
But yeah, it'd be the same. Like Yeah, I guess it'd be the exact same as union. Like I still went to the spirals sometimes when I felt like, oh, we're on the front foot. The boys are feeling good. They're looking tired.
Mm,
Kind of just go to that spiral just to kind of be like, it even if I feel like when a good spiral kick or a good floater or something in league also gives the boys energy.
yeah.
So yeah, you kind of just keep riding that momentum with it.
Billy Slater talked a lot about the effect of catching a spiral. Like it changes your body. You can't be as aggressive. You can't get to the middle of the field. Like if you're trying to find time somewhere, not only your kick's got more time on it, tough catch. You might fall over. We can land on you. Like again, those sort of compounding effects. So yeah, I'm loving the spiral bomb is coming back to you. Yeah, Union, but also just need more playmakers and kickers just to have the confidence, green light, like get after it. Similar
Yeah,
to what you did, like with the message from Eddie. No, mate, I'm just going to do my thing.
yeah.
I
But
love that.
yeah, in terms of like the spirals in union, I've actually found that balls are easier to spiral in union,
Yeah,
like the union footies. Like I hit a 50-22 against the Waratahs, I think in 2023 spiral, and like I obviously practice the spiral a fair bit, like just for a little bit each day at training. But that Wednesday I went out and Kells was he wanted to do some like clean up stuff at the back. So we went out on one of the days off, and I was just hitting kicks into the corners, and he was just trying to kind of get him and exit kick.
Yeah.
And I was playing around with it. So I was just trying to smash spirals into the corner and like trying to find him out, trying to hit 50-22s. And if it wasn't for that session, I probably wouldn't have hit it in the game, even though like it was kind of not a play around session, but it probably wasn't a session where I was super focused on trying to nail every spiral. Like I just wanted to try and make it as messy as I could for him,
yeah,
knowing that he probably obviously would face it a bit easier in the game when it came. But yeah, and then in the game, I didn't even think twice. I just kind of got the ball, just rolled it on its side, and just tried to smack the middle of the ball. And yeah, I remember looking up and just seeing that come out perfect, and it's just that nice low flighted window with that S curve into like that kick right if you're a right footer. Um, yeah, so I feel like that's especially with the way the balls float now in terms of the spirals. I feel like it's such a good kick to have in union. And I know heaps of the boys are starting to practice it, so it's going to be cool when they start coming out a bit more.
and such a great way to get touches and feels into your week. Like I put so much energy into kickers, like just understanding your foot, what a hard foot, what a slice feels like, your hook feels like, your actual great strike. A spiral is a great way to get feedback and start to understand feedback on your foot, even if you're not using them that much in games. Like 5 minute, 10 minute of spiral kicks is so good for your muscle memory and understanding. Want to,
Just on that, like I would
yeah,
practice spirals more than I practice drop punts, just
oh,
because if you can hit it, like the fundamentals all the same in terms of your body shape and your foot, but if you can hit it like a perfect spiral 9 times out of 10, you're going to be able to hit a perfect drop punt. So
yeah,
it's kind of just the placement of the ball, but I practiced drop the spirals, yeah, a lot more than what I practiced drop punting, and that probably showed with some of my kicks for touch. But it was yeah, it's really enjoyable too, because like when you get them right and when you've got them coming out, they're just really satisfying, and they're quite accurate. Like you wouldn't, a lot of people don't believe how accurate they actually are when you're hitting them good.
agree.
So,
Goal kicking. So yeah, you're obviously not kicking at the moment. I'm sure you're missing striking, but you've been through a bit of a journey with your process, your kicking tee, your technique. I think you went down the Dave Allred path there for a while with some coaching. Yeah, keen to hear where you're at. And also, the Titans boys, they wanted some tea, so we sent some over.
Yeah,
What's the feel? What's the feedback?
yeah, the boys are loving them.
Good.
Yeah, because I took my first week in there. I took my obviously rugby bricks tee. You know, I had the low cut. I played the low cut. But yeah, I took that in there, and the boys were interested in it. And I was like, oh, I'll see if I can get you some.
Me.
And then yeah, thank you for sending some over. But it was yeah, the boys are loving it, especially Jaden Campbell. He's been kicking unreal, and he's using the rugby bricks now. So yeah, they're all quite interested because obviously is it Super T I think
Yep.
they run a lot of the league stuff, and yeah, it was cool to have. I think the boys were cool. Thought it was cool to have something different, and yeah,
Yeah.
they really enjoy kicking off them, and obviously all the different heights. Kind of especially with kickoffs, a lot of the boys are kicking off the high one, so it kind of just gives you different options in that area.
And I think Super T and Daryl Halligan's had the run of the mill for a while, and as he should, like one of the goats and goal kickers and first to do it, and that's one person I'm really grateful for. Like he sort of inspired me to get into kicking tees and how could you do it, the market. So cool to hear. And I think visually our ones just look a little bit different with the Steeden ball sitting there. Like I'm a big fan of that. Like when you're at the back of your mark, like you should be thinking, yeah, I can smoke this. Like this looks really, really good to the eye. Talk us through your process, goal kicking. So you went through the low tee, where you were.
Yeah.
How'd
So,
you get to where you're at?
well, as a kid, I always kick off a high tee or like a mid cut tee. Yeah, and I was probably a better kicker when I was 12 than what I have been in the last 12 months. But it's yeah, I've always kicked off that tee. And then when I finished school, I moved into the red system, and Dave Olwood was like the kicking coach, and I moved into kind of just breaking all my kicking down and moving to a low tee, and I actually really enjoyed it. I put a lot of time into it. I thought it was
Yeah,
cool to change. Obviously, you see all the good kickers: Dan Carter, Johnny Wilkinson, all those boys. Johnny Sexton, like all kicking off low tee. So I was like, oh yeah, I got to do it.
yep,
And then yeah, I moved into that, and I kicked off that for 6 years, I think. Um, and yeah, and I don't know, like I put a lot of time. Like I'd kick for half an hour to an hour after every session, whether that just be like narrow angle stuff into a net. Yeah, just kind of all that six red we call it in terms of just like the area on the field where you should be kicking at 100%. Yeah, so I put a lot of time into that, and I never second guessed like my tee selection or anything like that. And then I had a year last year where, yeah, I ended up just like topping balls,
mm,
and like I don't know if I've ever done that before. So I think one that played on my mind a little bit because I was like, what is going on? Like I'd go out in training and like almost try to top him, and I couldn't hit him that bad. So yeah, I was either like nailing him from the sideline or topping him. Like it was kind of, I was like at the end of this like spectrum there. Like it's just like,
yeah.
which was like, yeah,
I remember there was one duck hook against when you were playing for the Rebels from the left, and I was like, oh, something's not good
yeah,
here
yeah. I
with
know it
Carter's
was
kicking.
like it was quite frustrating because on those like actual strike felt fine.
Right.
So to kind of look up and be like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so that was kind of frustrating. Like I had that game against Fiji where I went, I think I got one, and then I duck hooked one, and then I went, I think like 3 from 4 from the sideline. After that, I was like, what is going on? Like I feel like I've honestly kicked those balls all the same. I do like quite hard review in terms of
Mm.
footage from the game because we'd have like 6 camera angles that I could go through. All that, and I was just, yeah, I couldn't quite put my finger on it. And then I think obviously kicking sometimes gets to that point where you're looking so far into stuff, you can go down a rabbit hole
Yep.
in terms of thinking too much about it and not actually just kicking the ball.